To all our masters and all Taokins, good evening. Tonight, our master Tsai will be the one to provide us her compassionate guidance. Let's turn on the Yaochalan the Tsai Tian Chuan Shi Galan Ci Bei Si Dao. Now let us invite our master Tsai for her compassionate guidance.
各位道亲，大家好阿弥。
好，阿弥。
听无？听去无？头先用法感谢天文师弟，感谢祖师皇族，感谢师尊师长代表，感谢老前人甲各位点传师主持栽培，佮感谢在座9点传师甲电点传师主持，互后下有这个机会，踮咧遮甲各位道亲做伙学习。
First of all, I would like to thank our Heavenly Grace and Teachers Virtue, our lead ministers, our senior ministers, and Zhou Tian Chuan Si and Tian Tian Chuan Si for all their support and guidance. And we are also thankful that everyone is here with us tonight for our lecture.
那么要开拜呢，最呢，后下真欢喜顶几礼拜最吼，迄个开开宴就地方学长坛主吼，甲伊查某囝甲咱做上下指礼，互咱烧心香。那么今仔日咧有一路宴，甲伊查某囝索菲亚做上下手，甲咱互咱大家踮咧遮烧心香。咱看到阁有新诶。少年的会道亲会晓念佛几礼节非常的安慰，表示讲咱的道务咧，毋是敢若即寡较侪岁的行嘛，有少年的豆豆的行出来，有囡仔豆豆的投入，这是一个真正安慰的代志。
Tonight we are very happy because a few weeks ago we had our Li Fang and her daughter who acted as our Sangxia Zili. And tonight we also have Vivian and her daughter Sophia who also acted as our Sangxia Zili tonight. It means that we are seeing new faces in our lectures and that there are more and more younger generations who are going into cultivation. So that is something to be very happy of.
那么今天呢，后下要甲各位道亲分享的团队叫做修道三不离，修道的是三项代志，你袂这个放互无去的。
Tonight, our topic for tonight is 3 things that we can get without, cannot go without during our cultivation.
咱大家人今仔日不管讲早修还是晚修，要修还是唔修，拢是会修。
So in cultivation, either you start early or you start late, or you do not want to cultivate, or you wanted to cultivate. They are all in cultivations.
那么修道有啥物要紧呢？咱伫即马即个困难的点子，更加会当了解。咱若无修道咧，咱即个规个世界、规个人类的迄个困难会行袂出去。
So what is the importance of cultivation? Especially during this time of calamities and pandemics, it is the time that we should realize that cultivation is very important, that without it, we can never get out of our hardships facing these pandemics and calamities.
那么修道是要修啥物咧？就是讲要互咱时时刻刻24小时内底，拢伫个良心的甲咱做主宰。
So what is the meaning of cultivation? It is that while cultivating, we are very conscious that within the 24 hours of a day, we are working and doing things within our conscience.
那么咱这样看投影片第1章咱伫个宋朝的时阵就是离开今仔日8、900年前的时阵伫个宋朝有一个最后尾一个从后壁要结束的时候，有一个宰相伊叫做文天祥。
So tonight,
咱中华民国民族英雄，咱中国人的民族英雄。
So tonight we are to begin with, we will know this hero of our of China, named Wen Tianxiang. He was the last prime minister of China during the Song dynasty, which was about 800 to 900 years ago.
那么这个文章吼，伊拄到的代志就是什么代志咧？就是北平的迄个蒙古的人就是成吉思汗爷孙吼，对北方拍倒咱即个中国人拍倒咱即个咱人，那么咱即个咱人诶，就是一个一个应该爱向蒙古投降，但是文天祥伊就是无要投降。
So during that time, during the Song dynasty, the Mongolians wanted to fight and get China, and they wanted every Chinese people to surrender to them. But it was Wen Tianxiang who never surrendered, no matter what they did to him.
不管迄蒙古的迄个成吉思汗的孙吼，蒙古人安怎甲伊，互伊巨大的利益，甲伊城，也是用要互伊死来甲伊喊，伊就是无要投降。
So no matter what the grandson of Genghis Khan did to him, no matter what he offered to him or how he scared him, they never succeeded in letting him surrender to the Mongolian dynasty.
伊说吼，人会做你死的，但是这个良心袂做你无的，我无要投降。
But his reason for not surrendering is that a person can die because it is only his human body that will die, but his conscience will never die.
所以伫个要去互人拍死的时阵吼，伊写四句写两句字吼，两句字写了真有意义。伊写安怎呢？讲咱人咧读先佛圣贤的册，咱所学是咧学什么代志？就是咧学良心，学迄个自性安尼啊。
So before he died, he left two sentences for everybody, which meant that what do you learn when you read the books of sages? It stated that conscience and true Holy Spirit is the most important.
所以咱定来说啊，咱这个肉体会做你死的，但是良心袂做你无的。
So that's why we always say that our human body can die, but our conscience and the true Holy Spirit should never die.
所以这文天祥就是抱着这点无惊吓的心，无怀疑的心咧，就来去从容就义，就来叫蒙古人甲伊拍死，伊嘛是活甲真自在，死甲真欢喜。
So with that thought in his mind, he was never scared that he was killed by the Mongolian people, and he died a very happy death.
所以咱今仔日咱即寡修道人叫做白羊弟子，咱的中心思想就是爱学什么呢？学这个圣人的迄个内在，甲迄个仁者王者迄个外在，内面咧有圣人的德，外口咧有仁者王者迄个风度。
So during this white stage period, we, the white stage disciples, have to learn and study the internal sages and the external emperor, or the origin of the idea of saints and emperor and its development.
咱若学会起来时阵吼，咱行到倒遐拢真正自在，真正光明，真正磊落，光明磊落。
So if we can really learn and understand that, we can live a very carefree life, and we can live very proudly.
拄着生也欢喜，拄着死嘛欢喜，嘛甘愿。
So when we meet good things in life, we are happy. But when we meet death, we are still very happy and willing to die.
伫个迄个中国解放富军仔的时阵吼，有一位真人，伊姓何，叫做何仙人。
In China, there was a sage named He Xianren.
这个伫中国要解放的时阵吼，迄阵政府对咱I-Kuan都无真了解，就是会掠迄寡真人啊、点传书啊去安尼去关也是去甲拍死。那么这位何真人伫四川去互掠去，来去要拍死，后尾互迄个军阀甲伊拍死。 要拍死以前咧吼，伊即摆就无惊，甲迄个亲手要甲拍死迄个野青，迄个亲手迄个军人说讲，啊，我的心脏伫咧遮，你行到头前，一枪就甲拍互死，吼，安尼吼，免了庆忌，嘛，互我较紧死。
During the time of He Qianren, it was the time when conducting lecture was against the law. So many of our our ministers, our senior ministers were caught and imprisoned, and some were even sentenced to death. So when He Qianren was sentenced to a firing squad, he was not even afraid. And during the day when he was about to be killed, he even told the person who held the gun, who was assigned to kill him, that he should aim at him well and aim at him nearer to him, so that with only one shot he will be shot to death.
那么这亲手真惊，那有即款人安尼遐连นั่น啊，遐要死啊，搁安尼，就讲即款的话啊，就讲你为什么讲即款的话咧？吼，你是毋是安尼标笑？即个好侪人讲毋是啦，我若是标笑。你今仔日吼，甲我拍会死，吼，是迄个4号即个互你拍死。毋过我内面迄个正的我是袂互人拍死的。
So the one who held the gun was really surprised at him, and he was even the one who became afraid of him. That he even asked him that, why did you tell me that I should shoot you near and shoot you straight, so that you will die on that instant. So he was asking him that, are you joking when you told me that? So He Qianren said that, no, I'm not joking, because if you will kill me, you will only kill my body, but my conscience and my true spirit will not be killed by you.
你会当甲迄4号拍死，你无法度甲我拍死。我true mind，我正我的 true self， 你拍袂死的。我即就是讲，咱吼每一个修道的人，咱内底咧有一个圣灵的德，啊外口有一个真惊吓、真有勇气的迄个风度。
So he said that you can kill the person who was He Qianren, but you can never kill my true self. That's why for a cultivator, we should always learn how to have internal stages, and externally we should act like an emperor who is not afraid to do what is wrong, what is right.
那即摆咱现在的社会真正奇怪哦，什么物件都有哦。那么电脑啦、多媒体啊，世界哦，真定在变化，变甲吼，咱有时阵就要对袂赴吼。那么伫咧遮尔大的变化点钟咧，咱即款修道人要安怎安心入眠？要安怎守着咱的天性、天命、灵性？袂去污染，袂去堕着搁进一步咧，会当去影响别人，去度众生，做伙来转去迄个老母娘遐，这是一个吼足要紧，袂这个浅的代志咯。
So in our modern society, it is full of surprises, and it is a multimedia world. So how can one settle down to a quiet life and stay safe from the destiny and spirituality? It is an urgent matter to save all beings and the others to the safe shore. So our true self will not be affected by what is happening in our world if we cultivate well, and we also have to try to affect others so that we can also bring them along when we are going back to our Heavenly Mother.
下一张投影片，下一张哈。所以咱民主，咱的亚圣哈，孔子刷了这孟子，那个祖师伊说一句话，讲咱人就奇怪，那迄个吼厝内饲的鸡啊狗啊，若放无去吼，咱就知影讲要去找。即个良心本性放无去咧，咱袂晓去找。那么做人的学问吼。其实无什么大道理，干那要甲迄个 良心本性啊，找倒转来了啦。
So Mengshu said, when people lost their chickens and dogs, they know enough to look for them. But when they lose their mind, their conscience, and their true self, they don't have enough knowledge to find them. The way to explore, to learn and explore, is to find the lost hearts.
那么，咱即马即个现时即个点睛和三期末节的点睛咧，人的心肝咧，安尼拢袂专心，啊，搁真正败坏。那么，正人的强业定定现伫面头前，真侪灾劫，吼，天时紧急。那么，真侪教堂啦，啊，真侪虽然讲点睛真无好，歹趁食。啊，毋过教堂啦、庙啦、佛堂啦，愈去愈侪。为什么？为什么安尼咧？就是因为讲即寡有修养、有道德的人，知影讲吼，天时真紧急，会当救偌济，咱就爱救偌济。那么求道咧，就是互咱的一代名师济公老师，既然一条登去天顶100年以后，登去天顶的一条路。
So during this time of uncertainty, people's hearts are separated and corrupted, and the karmic groups appears repeatedly. Disasters continue to occur at this critical moment, and there are still many churches and temples around. It is because that we all know that time is really near, and that there is really no more time to spare. That we really have to seek the truth. So to let Jikong Buddha guide us on the path to heaven.
下一章，麻烦你。那么咱求道咧的时阵吼，即个真正要紧的一个仪式内面，点坛师有甲咱交代3项代志。伫点道的时阵，点坛师甲咱讲吼，咱表文烧落去，表文顶个有咱的名，表文烧起咧，叫做天放挂号地府抽定，就是讲咱求道以后咧，咱的名咧伫天底遐，咱的名咧无伫地甲迄个生死簿内底。
So during the time when we received Tao, there were 3 things that when the holies report the paper with our name, where our name was written on, when the holy report was burned, there are 3 things. 1, our names are registered in heaven, and that it is withdrawn from hell.
这点啊，这2句，这8字咧，就较多有真正真大的一个吼，真大的一个印证啊。莫小学的一个阿兄，第2阿兄，吼，伫30几年前的时阵吼，放弃一包珠宝。那么伊就要去迄个鸿门的上神门的吼，迄个所在去问讲，到底迄个珠宝是啥物人甲伊偷摕去的？因为迄个珠宝藏伫无人知影的所在，去互偷摕去，感觉就囂义的人，要去问，看到底是倒一个实在的人甲伊摕去。结果去迄个吼问的吼，迄个是当然是属于阴的，迄个阴的庙吼，等3工哦，头1工足早落去，第2工嘛足早落去，第3工嘛足早落去，拢等无着伊的名。
To let us understand that when we say that our names are registered in heaven and are withdrawn from hell, we can have a story to tell us that this is really true. The second elder brother of our Tsai once lost their jewelry. So what they did was they have to go to a place like a temple that there they can ask for help, that they can know where these jewelries were hidden. But they were there for 3 days, and for all those 3 days, the other people already had their answers for their problems, but the elder brother was waiting there for 3 days, and they can never get any answer from the people in charge.
伊讲话来，拢叫着伊的名，无偌久就迄个上神的人去地工问就转来甲 answer 啦，转来甲回答啦。第2工 平到晚来嘛是安尼，迄个上神的人落去下骹问就甲回答啊。敢若阮阿兄吼，连续3工足早落去，都无法度安尼去问着。伊阵仔问迄个上神迄个人讲，嘛拜托你，你搁落去下骹甲我问看觅一下。下骹就是讲迄个地狱。吼，迄个管迄个偷推管歹人的吼，毋是天顶啦，是地狱去管的啦。
So the elder brother was waiting there for the first day. During the first day, some people who came later from him were already having their answers, their names, and their problems were already solved. For the second day again, those who came later already had their answers. On the third day, still the same, and they are still there just sitting, waiting around. So he went to ask the person who is acting like a medium, who can go and talk to the people from hell to ask where these jewelries are. So he was asking this person that please help us and let us know the answer.
那么迄个上神的人，阵仔落去下骹，佫去问啊，伊讲吼，问起来，佫起来，就甲阮阿兄说讲吼，我头一工去嘛找无你的名，第二工去下骹嘛找无你的名，即摆今仔第3工落去下骹找，下骹迄个人甲我说讲，你的名无伫咧遮啦。
So the medium cannot do anything but to tell him the truth that he said, during the first day, I went down to hell and asked for your name and looked for your name, but I can't find your name. During the second day, I went down again to look for your name, but I still can't find your name. So today, the third day, I went down again, and the person in charge from hell told me that your names are not listed in hell.
那阮二嫂吼，阮二嫂听着伫咧边仔，甲伊做伙去听着，则甲阮二兄说讲，咱莫找啊，咱莫找啊啦。咱今仔日吼，就知影讲咱的名无伫咧下骹，天去找着珠宝更加要紧啦。
So the wife of the elder brother realized something. So he told her husband that let's go home. There's no need for us to wait. But today we have found out that our names are indeed erased from hell, that we are no longer registered in hell. And that is a more precious thing to find out than to have looked and find our jewelries.
咱后摆是要转去天顶的啦。
So it means that when we die, we are going back to heaven.
所以因离开已经庙以后吼，过无几礼拜吼，拄咧办道的时阵吼，因就乖乖吼，做军仔归空迄个5中央点传师甲伊请靠。
So after that incident, a few weeks after that, they went to have the chinko or the vegetarian bow.
所以吼，咱就爱知影讲吼，即个名伫咧下骹，去互抽去天顶，看即个是偌重要、偌宝贵的一个代志。
So we have to know that the fact that the names are taken or erased from hell and is already transferred to heaven, that is a very, very important thing in life.
所以咱一定爱咱做一个道亲啊，一定爱真正信心。
So as a Tao cultivator, we really have to be very sincere in our cultivation.
有当然有啥物活动，有当然啥物班，咱应该爱照点钟转来，照点钟来扶持道场。
So whenever there are activities or ceremonies or affairs in the temple, we really have to be around to help and contribute to anything that we can.
当然应该爱进步就爱进步，应该发心就爱发心，那么安尼的时阵呢，点人就搁甲咱交代一句话：道理无用万般年，就是讲，咱若求到以后好好修道咧，这10800年内底，保证咱袂落入去地府内面。
So we have to try ourselves to improve ourselves in our cultivation. And for the second thing that was promised to us is that our Chikung Buddha promise that after we have received Tao, we will be kept safe from going down hell for 10,800 years.
那么过来咧，他们就是讲啊，咱安尼求道以后，咱就已经得到政府的保证咯。咱会做得来也好，唔来也好，要进步也好，唔进步也好，歹势无法哩简单吼。咱的神父、咱的老师嘛是真无闲吼，伊有真侪道地爱照顾，真侪道地主信士爱照顾。啊，咱若吼3年无修、5年无修的时阵啊。咱无法度要求讲，神父老师定定伫咱的身躯边，甲咱保庇。
So, after knowing that we are kept safe for 10,800 years, some of us will be carefree enough that to say that since we have received Tao and our Lao Sư is always with us, we can just go carefree and not cultivate anymore. But we are very sorry to say that each and every one of us, we should make ourselves learn and cultivate and improve so that during our cultivation, we can also help ourselves because our Tikong Lao Sư is very, very busy that he has so many, many disciples that he cannot look at each and every one of us. That within 3 years, we might be taken care of, but after the 3 years period, we are on our own. So we have to cultivate and improve ourselves.
好，那么第3点老师甲咱交代，点老师退，再讲老师甲咱交代，讲咱呐，这个愿10条大愿求道的愿，袂当一条一条做互伊愿的时阵哦，那么真困难登去到咱的故乡老母娘的厝内。
So the third thing that we were told during during the time when we received Tao is that if you cannot fulfill your vows, it is really very hard to go back to the supreme heaven.
不过用另外一个角度咧，咱若愿拢有了咧，咱一定会当登去咱的故乡老母娘的厝内。
So from another point of view, we can say that if we really fulfill our vows, we are sure that we can go back to our Heavenly Mother.
所以咱一贯道常常爱念，咱开班常常爱念迄个密令，真经念念，甲咱最后甲咱交代一句话哦，讲修持劫内，修持劫内许路径。讲咱咧修道的时阵，拄到劫数的时阵，咱找着路，找着正路，找着正门。
So before we start our lecture, we always recite the Mila Zhenjing, and it was stated there that cultivation can lead us to the exit point of the different disasters. That if we cultivate well, our Lao Sư will bring us where we should go, that we can exit from any disaster or calamities.
迄个时阵咱是大事化小事，小事化无事。
So any great disasters will be turned into small difficulties, and small difficulties will turn into nothing.
那么伫咱生命结束的时阵咧，安尼圆满，咱的生命圆满咯，生命结束的时阵咧，神父伫迄个出口伫等咱，老师伫遐甲咱带转去咱故乡老母娘遐，所以咱100年后咧要转去天地，是每一个人拢有希望的。
So for a cultivator who is really cultivating very well, during the last minute of his life, our Buddhas and saints will be there waiting for us at the exit door. And there is hope that we will all return to heaven.
上惊的是上惊安怎咧？咱无修来的时阵一条路，转去的时阵有6条路，互咱行，咱就爱落入去六道轮回咯。
So if we do not cultivate well, we all know that when we came to this earth, this world, there is only one way where we came. But when we go, there are 6 paths for us to choose. So if we do not cultivate well, we have to choose from these 6 paths.
那么咱个看下一张投影片那么修道是遐尼好，毋过咧，咱修道咧上惊是惊安怎？这个道心有时阵有，有时阵无法度甲迄个道心甲 unite 甲团结起来。
So
无法度solid，无法度聚合起来。
In cultivation, what we are afraid of is that, well, even though when we are cultivating, but our heart in Tao is not present, and that we cannot unite and solidify our will to cultivate.
尤其咱伫咧较热，徛伫较热迄个菲律宾，身躯也过夜，也上也无爱流汗，也过夜。所以做稻务的时阵，当然无讲遐尼拍拼。
Especially that we are in this tropical country, that it is very easy for us to get tired when doing some chores. So it is very easy for us to say that it is very tiring to do the Tao duties.
那么会定定感觉讲做修道的，做我求道的时阵，感觉讲都足好诶，感觉讲一工两工啊，佫伫咱的心肝内底。过无偌久咧，3工5工啊，佛祖敢若伫咧册本内底啦尔，到7、8工、7工、8工的时阵哦，佛祖是喺天顶哦，到10工半个月的时阵哦，佛祖就安尼走到毋知去倒位啊咯。
So in Tao cultivation, if we are not really very sincere and very dedicated, we will know that during the first 2 days, when after we receive Tao, Buddha is in our heart in the first 2 days, but on the 3rd to the 5th days, Buddha was already just in the books. And on the 7th and the 8th day, Buddha already flew into the air. And within the 10 days or half a month, Buddha already left without a trace. He is already nothing. There is nothing in our heart.
毋是佛祖无去啊，是咱心肝无佛祖去啊。
It is that it is not Buddha. It is not that Buddha is lost, but it is our Buddha heart, and our heart to cultivate is already lost.
是咱心肝迄个道心无够坚强。
It is our Tao heart is not really solid and strong.
大家人拢真正爱徛新厝啊，就讲要起厝。起厝吼，咱即摆讲起厝叫做百土厝。那么起百土厝咧，爱3项物件才起会起来。头一种就是百土嘛，头一项是沙，第2项百土，第3项水。第3项晓晓的，你要起一块百土厝才起会起来。这叫做起厝的 3 in 1。
So every one of us wants to have a beautiful house. Each and every one of us wants to live in a cemented house that is safe. So in building a house, there are 3 elements. We have to have sand, we need to have cement, and we need also water. When these 3 things are mixed together, we can make a very sturdy house for us to live in.
那么安尼起起来这间厝就是遐用咯，毋惊阮的，毋惊去互遐遮去，嘛拄着风雨嘛有一个通好休息通好徛的所在，地厝真好徛。
So when a house is built with sand, cement, and water, we do not afraid anymore of that it will be attacked by termites. We will not afraid that there will be floods or typhoons because it is really very strong to protect us from anything.
那么修道嘛同款，伊嘛同款有一个3合一的这个说法，叫做3不离，3项咱袂这里离开的。
So in cultivation also, there are also 3 things that we cannot live without. These are we can say that it is the 3 in 1 of cultivation.
头一项就是讲，咱修道人袂做你离开佛堂。
First thing is that we do not stay away from the temple or the Tao community.
这个 temple 敢若拄啊起厝迄个山。
The temple is like the sand when we are building a home.
你可能会问讲即摆阮哋即摆就阮哋lockdown啊，大家无法度去佛堂啊，所以咱就是拜5爱开班，用这个 room 来开班，就是这个原因，咱才爱开班，这边 room 开班，咱嘛同款是无离开佛堂。
So we can say that how can we go to the temple nowadays that there is lockdown, that we have to observe distancing, That is the reason why that we have to conduct less lectures in Zoom so that everybody can still listen to lectures through Zoom, even despite the pandemic.
那么第二项呢，讲咱袂用离开经典。
The second thing says that we do not stay away from the scriptures.
啊，那经典咱等下过水吼。这经典呢，敢若是咱起厝内面迄个百图。
We will discuss this later, but the scripture is like the cement in building a house.
哦，有这个百图吼，才有法度甲这个山甲这个水吼，甲搅做伙，这个厝才起会起来。无敢若山甲水，无可能有厝啦。
Because with only sand and water, they cannot stick together and we cannot build a home. We need cement so that the three things can stay together.
所以咱求道以后呢，定定听真贤大德讲道理，因为这个道理就是吼圣人所讲的经典，就是佛祖的话。
So that is why after we receive Tao, we have to listen to lectures because these lectures are mostly taken from the scriptures of Buddhas and sages.
那么这款物件有法度吼，甲咱这寡吼，甲咱这个线线的物件，线线的山甲水，甲咱夹做伙，吼，互咱修道的时阵吼，较有一个中心思想，较有迄个粘性，敢若glue咧。
So the scripture will serve as a sort of a glue that will let the three things stick together and be solid.
啊，那么过来第三就讲袂用离开神智性。
Number 3 is that we should not leave the teachings of the saints and sages or the good knowledge.
啊，这神智性敢若水咧，敢若迄个起厝三合一内面迄个水。
So the teachings of good knowledge is like the water in the three elements.
啊，神智性就是讲平常较早修的，还是讲平常修了较好的，吼，较有智慧的，还是讲伊较有迄个道务的经验啊，佛堂的经验，会用甲咱做伴落去行这条路，迄叫做神智性。陪伴咱行修道这条路的迄个真贤大德，叫做神智性。
So the good knowledge is from our elders who really have experiences and they can help us and guide us and bring us in our cultivation.
好，下一章。那么咱先来讲，什么叫做不堂？吼，不堂当然有两种说法。咱先说讲吼，有形看会到的不堂，啊，就是讲啊，咱这个佛堂啦，还是讲道院啦，吼，还是讲道场啦，吼，这个佛堂呢，就是等下咱会解说什么叫做佛堂。要知影这是毋是一贯道的佛堂哦？有一个真好认的一个所在，等下说吼。那么有形的佛堂呢，互我简单甲伊念过，就是讲有形的佛堂是咱理天天堂的介绍所。
So we will first discuss about the topic that said, do not stay away from the temple. So the temple has two kinds of temple. One is the visible temple, and the other one is the one that we cannot see, the invisible temple. So for the visible temple, it is the one temple that we can see and touch, and we will discuss what this temple is all about. And later on, we will also discuss how can we know whether a temple belongs to I-Kuan Tao or not.
第二个是学佛的概念所。
So the first thing is, it says that a temple is a place where we were introduced. It is a place that we use it for introduction to heaven. Number 2, it is a transform center from bad to good.
第三是咱要去学成佛的一个修炼所。
Number 3, it is a training center to attain Buddhahood.
第四个，伊是咧办理天座、人座、地座的事务所。
And number 4, it is a place to conduct the salvation of the spirit in the 3 domains, the heaven, earth, and the human.
第五就是人间拄着灾劫的时阵的避难所。
Number 5, it is a place for the humans to be sheltered during calamities.
第六是真理的研究所。
Next, it is the Institute for the Study of Truth.
第七是众生的福音地，听福音的所在。
7, it is a gospel place for all beings.
众生毋是干咱人尔，包括咱的祖先，也是包括迄寡有情的所有的众生咧听道理的所在。所以咱听道理，毋是干人咧听尔，包括咱的祖先，包括咱的冤亲债主，包括迄寡动物。
So when we say it is all beings, it is not just us humans. It includes our ancestors who has already passed away. So when we listen to lectures, our ancestors who has already passed away are also with us listening, and also those who we are indebted to, and also some animals who has already passed away are also there listening to the lectures.
后来第10就是天下人交流地。
Number 8, it is a place for communication between heaven and man.
第9就是仙府的欢喜地。
Number 9, it is a place where the Buddha and the saints are most happy.
第10就是咱做人开始有慈悲的发心地。
Number 10, it is a place where one give heartfelt compassion.
第11就是咱踮咧遮做功德，踮咧人间做功德的加油站。
So number 11, it is a filling station of merits and virtues.
第12就是咱人人生拄着较忝的时阵的迄个休息的所在。
Number 12, it is the resting station of life.
13是道德的方便的所在。
13, it is a place for moral development.
14就是咱有道德培养品德的一个大的学校学堂。
Number 14, it is a great school for the cultivation of morality.
所以咱会当开一个学堂，也是讲咱一个所在一个地方有一个学堂迄是真正惊天地泣鬼神惊天动地的一项代志，天人都欢喜。
So when in a certain place there is establishment of a temple, it is a very precious happening that heaven and earth are all very happy to have this established temple.
那么听道理的时阵，咱咧开班的时阵呢，嘛毋是讲甲咱3、5个听尔，毋是啦。咱一寡甲咱有缘的祖先，也是讲冤亲债主，也是讲甚至有一寡动物，伊嘛是会听到尾人伊嘛是会提高他的层次。
So when we are listening to lectures, it doesn't mean that it is only us. These ones who we can see are the ones listening. But we should know that those our ancestors are those people and things that have affinity with us. Even the animals, they are all coming to the temple to listen to the lectures. And up to in time, they will reach also a certain level while listening to the lectures.
因摆阮细汉的时阵小学6、7岁的时阵，阮厝内就安佛堂
When our Tsai was just 6 to 7 years old, they already have established a temple in their home.
迄阵阮兜有一只狗，一只狗是 mix 的，叫做阮拢叫 Oscar， 那个叫 Os 呢，阮拢叫 Os。
So during that time, there was a dog in their home. It was a mixed breed dog, and they call him Os because his name was Oscar.
伊平常时真吵真正款的，真正看着欺负人佢拢会一直要安尼，要共吠，要共款的，要共攻击， 毋过拄到开班的时阵，伊就袂去背道亲啊，袂去安尼，袂去插道亲，就静静吼，啊，踮咧学堂的外口的窗门边听道理。
So this dog was really a very noisy dog that whenever there are strangers, he will really bark very loud and he would act as if he will attack them. But every time when there are lectures in their home, this dog will not bark at the people who came to listen to lectures. And instead, every time when the lecture is going on, he will just stay outside the window and he is also like listening also to the lectures.
咱即只狗吼真有顾厝，吼，咱看到迄个吼暗时啊看到欺负人，行过就是一直吠吼，所以吼贼仔要来甲阮偷摕物件，无啥尼简单。
So this dog was really a very good guard dog that he guarded a house that whenever strangers came, he will really bark very loudly. So when somebody will come to intend to steal in their home, they will never dare to get in.
但是有一天吼，贼仔毋来等偌久要甲因偷摕物件，毋过无可能啊，有只狗遐尼恶啊，所以阵啊用药啊，用毒药甲即只狗，毋知啥物物件互伊食，食到即只狗叫毒药头死。
So since the thieves cannot get in because he was very noisy, so what they did was he fed the dog with poison to kill him.
即只狗阵啊死啊！
So the dog died because of the poison of the theft.
阮妈妈真疼即只狗啊，因为阮做迄个是爱透早足早就起来，即只狗拢会甲阮叫到阮无需要迄个无需要 alarm clock， 伊足准时甲阮叫，所以阮妈妈足疼即只狗。看到即只狗吼死去啊，阮妈妈就目屎流落来，哭出来。
Our Tsai Mama, the mother of our Tsai Tianchuan, really loved that dog because it is guarding the house from thieves. And also every morning he will bark every time when it is time for them to wake up to make their mitya, the dog will bark to wake them up. So when our Tsai Mama knew that the dog was poisoned, she really cried for that.
即只狗感觉着阮妈妈哭，即只狗嘛是共款咯，做目屎流落来哦。即只狗先死去啊，佫会流目屎。
So even the dog was already lying down when he heard Tsai Amma was crying. They also saw that the dog shed some tears from his eyes.
阮妈妈看见佫敢毋甘，阮妈妈讲话真正啦，阮妈妈讲话真正，电机伊就知影。阮妈妈知影甲即只狗讲。乌斯啊，你听遐侪年的道理吼，你赶紧去找一个吼，有道有道哦，讲有道有道啊，佫好修道的所在去出世做人，好好啊修道。
So our Tsai Amma was always saying some things that will really happen. So during that time when Os died, our Tsai Amma told the dog that you have to go and look for a place where you can cultivate in your next life.
即只狗阵啊本来会去往头是，即只狗是对嘛，听到阮妈妈讲即句话，敢若互伊袂咧信啊，互伊一个祝福咧。即只狗阵规身躯都拢软。
At the beginning, when he died because of poison, his body was turning to be stiff and hard. But when he heard Tsai Amma told him that he has to go and find a place where there is cultivation and where he can cultivate in his next life, his body turned to become soft.
所以就是讲吼，听道理毋是干人咧听，狗嘛会听，猫嘛会听，所以听道理是有当是众生的福音地。
So it shows us that listening to lecture is not just for us humans. Even dogs and cats can listen to lectures. That's why we say that a temple is a place for all beings.
所以开班有要紧无？开班真要紧。学堂有重要无？学堂真重要。咱袂使讲咱即摆呢，逐工踮咧入开班就好啊，免转去学堂啊。安尼佫较袂水，安尼咱的学堂遐大，紧要办哦。
So listening to lecture is really very, very important, and visiting the temple is also very, very important. That we should not say that since we are all well and already accustomed to having lectures in Zoom, maybe we should go and continue with Zoom even after the pandemic. But that should not be, because we have a very big temple. If nobody is visiting the temple, what will happen to our temple?
那么咱听Zoom听道理的时候，是讲啊，即马都无人看到我，因倒去听道理，我嘛会用个清清菜菜，想要安怎做也是安怎像安尼啊听道理，听嘛共款，无听嘛共款，道理是即款。咱若到开班的时阵吼，先夫不管你是用Zoom开班也好，还是在那补课也好，先夫拢有影啦。
雅思雅说一下。
说一下。
当然我收细声吼。
OK 了，OK 了。
好，我咧。
安尼吼，开班吼，毋是讲定定用Zoom开班，也是讲Zoom开班会做你凊彩啦，买做你啊。不管是用Zoom开班也好，还是转来不当开班也好，师傅拢伫遐甲咱看，老师拢伫遐目睭看现现。
So when we say we are conducting lectures, whether it is in Zoom or we go personally to the temple, it is both very important, because some people might think that in Zoom nobody can see me. I can just close my video and then I just lie down when listening, or I can eat while I was listening, or I can be doing other things during lecture. But we should keep in mind that during lectures, our saints and Buddhas are all watching over us.
更较要紧哦，是咱的祖先，伊袂当来，伊袂当我来啊，伊就是照着咱有咧听，无咧听，咱听偌济就得着偌济，咱若无咧听，伊就无就摕着物件。咱的祖先就是靠咱咧听，才得着迄个福报，会当踮咧地藏王菩萨遐听道理。啊，咱若凊凊彩彩的时阵，祖先得袂着。
So the most affected are our ancestors, because they can come and visit and listen to lectures because we are here listening to lectures. So what we hear is also what they hear. So if we are not listening very carefully, or if we are just putting on our device without even listening, our ancestors who are here to listen can learn and hear nothing.
这个例真多，后摆有点钟会甲咱讲一寡佛堂内面咧拄面吼，叫祖先甲伊叫真的迄个例，互咱讲伊就真做参考。
There are so many evidences and examples for this. When we have time in the future, we will have some examples of those Tao cultivators who are attending lectures but are asleep, and they were awakened by the Buddhas and saints during the lectures.
下一章，因为时间的关系哦，咱来看下一章吼。那么有形的佛堂呢，是老母娘的 Unlimited Palace 无极的皇宫。
The visible temple is the palace of our heavenly mother.
那么佛顶若点落去的时阵哦，敢若咱清大经内面所说，诸行嫣然。诸神俨然。
So, from the moment when the light of our Heavenly Mother is lit, just like what the Chintanjing has mentioned, all Buddhas and saints and sages were very solemnly present.
咱佛堂啦，甲变啊真清气，伊饲了真好势的时阵哦，佛堂的迄个环境的气氛哦，会互人吼真容易就是家己。反省家己检讨家己，袂去抱怨，袂去 complain， 袂去 reclamo， 拢想一寡 positive 的，袂去想一寡 negative 的。
So when we keep our temple very clean, the atmosphere of the physical situation is very prone for self-reflection, that we will no longer complain or think negative thoughts.
那么佛堂的。一寡迄个吼设备啦，藏的物件吼，伊拢有个意义伫个，拢会当启发咱的智慧。
And all devices in the temple all have their own meanings and are enough to inspire our wisdom.
好，下一章，好，咱要安尼知影讲啊，这个佛堂是毋是红洋的佛堂啊？是咱一贯道的佛堂呢？哦，上简单就是看吼，有武丁，甲有两仪丁无？这三拍丁迄无？
So to identify whether a temple belongs to the Redyang period or is it a temple of the I-Kuan Tao, very simple. We have to see if there is a Heavenly Mother lamp and two lamps on the lower altar.
好，那么对于武丁到两仪丁一直到拜殿，哈，咱人会拜迄个拜殿，吼，迄就是敢若老祖所说的道生一，一生二，二生三，三生万物。
So from the Heavenly Mother lamp to the two lamps on the lower altar table up to the kneeler, these three things precisely represents that Tao produces one, which is the universe, and that one produces two, which is and the two produce three, and these three produce varied things and creations that are brought into this universe.
啊，那要用易经的说法，就是无极二生太极，太极二生两仪，两仪四象八卦生。无极而生太极，太极而生两仪，两仪四象八卦生。
So from the Book of Changes, it says that Wu Ji generates Tai Ji. Tai Ji generates the two complementary forces, and the two complementary forces generates the four aggregates, and the four aggregates generates the three trigrams, and this the eight diagrams, and the eight diagrams produces all varied things in the universe.
啊，那么咱的为什么会讲到易经呢？吼，因为咱的道的初祖伏羲就是易经的缔造者，初祖伏羲啊，就是伊做易经的，伊内面有真侪奥妙的道理伫内底。
So our first patriarch is the one who made the Book of Changes, who Fu Xi.
好，那么咱那个看下一章 ，next， 好，这叫做无极，一个圆看这叫做无极，这就是老母娘，这就是什么拢总无啊，什么拢总有。
So this is the picture of Wu Ji. It represents our Heavenly Mother. It shows that there is nothing, but there is everything.
啊，有个人搁中央甲画一点，敢若咱咧画圆箍啊共款。
So some people will also put a dot at the very center of that circle.
啊，敢若咱用迄个圆规在画圆圈哦，迄个方法共款，这叫做无极。所以有诶不长啊，譬如讲咱基础组先天道院这边综合堂，伊就无放迄个明明上帝迄20个字，迄20字，伊就是用一个圆箍啊，内面放一个点迄就代表无极，代表老母娘，代表道。
So in some Tao temples, they do not put those 20 words representing our Heavenly Mother. They just put this circle with a dot at the center that represents already our Heavenly Mother, and that represents Tao.
再来下一张，这叫做无极哈。
This is a picture of Wu Ji.
再来太极咧，就是中央这个安尼一个敢若 S 这个，吼，这叫做太极。太极有两仪了，就是有对待啊，有立晚哈，啊有乌的白，有光的暗的，有男的女的，有天有地，啊，这叫做两仪。
So with the shape of the S, that is the Liang Yi, and then it represents the positive and the negative, male and female, and also heaven, sun and moon. These are the Liang Yi.
啊，这个阴 and yang。
And the yin and the yang.
下一张，好，这个叫做四象。
This is called the Si Xiang.
我唔知这什么意思啊？这叫做四象。
So we do not know why it is called Si Xiang.
哦，咱定来看到八卦，唔知这什么意思啊？是这个叫四象，一边乌的，一边白，吼，白内底有一点乌， 乌内底有一点白。
So we always see a pakwa with this diagram. So it is said that in a pakwa there is a white side and a black side. Within the white there is a black dot. Within the black there is a white dot.
拢种白的时阵叫做阳，拢种乌的时阵叫做阴。
When it is all white, it is yang. When it is all black, it is yin.
啊，中啊白内面点乌叫做少阴。
The black dot within the white spot, within the white space, is called the sao yin.
啊，这个乌内底迄个白叫做少阳。
The small white spot within the black side is called the sao yang.
所以阴跟少阴、阳跟少阳，这四个叫做四象。
So the yin and the yang and the sao yin and the sao yang, they are called the si xiang. They are the four elements.
下一章，可能要回到上一章的样子。应该是上一章，好，这就是尾啊有四象以后的第8卦乾坤，第8卦安尼8卦都那安尼变化出来。
So with this, when there is yin and yang, and there is male and female, pakwa is created from here.
这内面有真侪道理伫的吼，一年两年讲袂完，有诶一世人就研究袂了。
There are so many studies that we can learn from this diagram, but it will need a very long period of time to learn this. Some people will use their life to study this diagram.
所以今仔是简单甲咱做一个介绍，为什么有诶符堂内面有8卦咯？顶悬有乾有坤有即几个卦，就是因为咱诶初祖就是伏羲，伊就是做8卦，8卦内底易经内底就是包括规个宇宙道诶奥妙。
So we are just going through this topic because it is a very big topic, and we just want everyone to know why we have the pakwa burner in the temple. It is because that Fusi is our first patriarch, and he was the one who created this.
下一章，next 不倒咱迄摆简单甲讲条点，没有下一章不倒顶倒是天，下倒是地。天代表高跟明，下倒代表地是广跟大。拜着是咱人诶拜拜诶所在是人，这就是叫做天地人合二为一。
So let's talk about the Buddha table. The upper table represents heaven, that is brilliant. The lower table represents earth, that is the vastness. And the kneeler represents the human, the place for worship and for bowing. It is exactly heaven, earth, and human united as one.
天未说话，地未说话，就是爱靠咱人去代天宣判。
Heaven and earth cannot talk. Heaven cannot speak. Earth cannot speak. So it needs the humans to speak for them.
咱 human 咱人的嘴是要讲道理的唔是要吵是非的。
So it means that the mouth of the humans are here to talk about the scriptures and not to talk about the chismes of other people.
过来佛顶，讲佛顶中迄个上悬的最高最内最中，迄是老母娘的顶，母顶，迄是咱就是嘛是感觉是咱的心顶，嘛是咱的第三蕊目睭。
So the Heavenly Mother lamp, it is the one that is the highest, at the innermost, and at the centermost.
迄就是咱的心灯。
It is our heart lamp, and it is our third eye.
嘛是咱第三蕊目睭
And it is also our third eye.
经过济公老师给咱指点因会来导咱那么母顶点开咱的心顶，所以咱良心就会光明，咱的本性就会光明。
So from the direct point, from the point where our Qigong Lao Sư touch us, a fire and phase transition are taken, and when the Heavenly Mother lamp lights on, the heart lamp is lit on at the same time.
那么两仪灯的下开两拍母灯，一两拍灯的代表两粒目睭，代表阴阳，代表日，甲代表月。
So the two lamps on the lower table represents the two eyes, the yin and the yang, the sun and the moon.
咱来定定甲第三拍灯顾好，切到光光，或者要顾阿占。
We have to diligently clean and keep these three lamps very bright and clean.
敢若咱伫六祖大经吼，六祖的师兄身受所说，讲爱时时刻刻勤拂拭啊。咱的良心，咱的迄个洗染啊，定定甲切到清气，这是一种道道修的功夫。
So as we clean the three lamps, it is like we are cleansing also our heart lamp, the lamp within our heart, our conscience.
那么点母灯的时阵，对母灯点起，再点下骹这两拍灯，这叫做一本善万书。会记得哦，点灯的时阵哦，是从上点下面，这叫做一本善万书。
When lighting the heavenly lamps, we have to light first the center lamp and then the two lamps on the lower table. It means that one source gives rise to the myriad things or the countless things.
那么要上母灯的时阵，要上火的时阵哦，下骹先上，再上去，再上顶管那个母灯。
And when we are sending off the Buddha lamp, we have to send off first the two lamps on the lower table, and then the Heavenly Mother lamp should be sent off last.
有伊的意义，伊叫做万书归一本。
So the sending off act means that these countless things which returns to that one source.
下一章。拄仔讲的吼，就是迄个有形咱看会到的不同，就是靠这三拍母灯，甲咱讲哦，这个是天道的不同，一贯道的不同。
So those three lamps will tell us that this is the temple of a Tao. This is a Tao temple.
那么咱嘛有一个无形的不同哦，看不到的佛堂，迄就是咱的良心。
So we also have an invisible temple within us that is our conscience.
就是济公老师甲咱指开现观迄个所在。
So that is the point where our Qigong Buddha touch us when we receive Tao.
迄个所在是咱的方寸宝殿上尊贵的、上宝秀的。
So the point that was touched by Qigong Buddha when we received Tao, it was the point or the place that is of utmost perfection.
咱来好好保护咱这个现观的所有念头，迄个念头一定要正确的、光明的，或者偏差的。
So we have to always keep this point, this mysterious gate very properly, and that it will always have the right thoughts without thinking of any bad things.
咱讲佛祖讲我每一个人都有一个灵山塔，灵山塔就是咱现观的位，讲人人有个灵山塔，好用灵山塔下修，人人有个灵山塔，好像灵山塔下修。
So Buddha says that each and every one of us has a vulture peak pagoda, and Buddha is on the vulture peak pagoda, but there is no need to seek afar. Vulture peak is only in your mind. Each and everyone has a vulture park pagoda. Just cultivate well within this vulture peak pagoda.
咱每一项做每一项代志，以前爱先想看卖哦。咱做每一项代志，是毋是照咱的良心本性去做？
So every time when we do anything, we have to first think that are we doing things according to our conscience?
咱若有照良心本性去做，咱的良心本性就是光明，就无需要去 去教堂内面去点蜡烛咯。
So when we are doing or doing everything according to our conscience and to our true spirit and true self, there we are having a very cleansed heart and mind. So we do not need to go to temple to light a candle.
所以这个行观也好啊，还是讲这个良心本性也好咧，就是咱无形的不同。
So whether it is the vulture pagoda or our mystical gate, mysterious gate, the point that was touched when we received Tao, when we have to keep it really cleansed and purified.
那么另外咧，咱嘛阁有一个不同，就是咱即马伫咧遮的生活这个所在环境安定，就是咱的不同。
So there is another temple. It is the place where we are living in. It is the secular world. The secular world is also a place for cultivation. It is our Tao community.
咱踮咧即个环境在人间内面咧，甲人接接啊，好好做人啊，咱讲人道行，天道君。
So
做人的道理啊，做到真圆满咯，就是离天顶真近啊。所以咱讲安定就是道场。
So we say that this secular world is also a place for cultivation because when we can do our things while we are alive, when we can do things brilliantly and straightly, it means that we are already nearing to going back to Buddhahood.
人做了成功，才有得转去佛堂，转去天顶哦。人若做了失败的时阵，免哪转去的。所以古早人讲吼，佛心须在庭中静，说佛心须在城中静，佛道还得世上成。讲咱这佛心哦，爱伫迄点迄个淡薄阿占的所在去找清气啦吼。那么佛道咧嘛，爱踮咧世间内底才好多成就。
So we have to be successful as a human for us to be able to go back to heaven. So it was said that we have to cultivate in a place where there are troubles. So we have to cultivate in the secular world. And we have to also cultivate in the place where there are humanly errors so that we can really learn and go back to heaven.
那么不管咱伫咧厝内修也好，还是讲咱出家也好，不管咱有牵手也好，还是讲亲修也好，不管咱做什么款的行业，拢总是修行的好所在，迄甲咱帮咱去脾气、改毛病，迄个豆豆修咱的业障，互咱圆满。
So the accomplishment of attaining Buddhahood is also attained within the secular world, and that is Tao. And observing all cultivation, either at home and in all walks of life, these are all good places for cultivation. We have to cultivate at home and practice monkhood at home or living home. They are all the same.
是到这里了嘛？下一章没有了，下一章是那个。
下一章是不离经典。
今年咱今仔日有法度头一工就甲各位道亲做伙来学习修道三不离，这个不离佛堂。
So tonight we will discuss up to this point the not leaving the temple, not staying away from the temple.
咱不管咱 Zoom 会开班要开偌久，咱就是时心肝爱有不同。
So no matter how long we are going to have our Zoom lecture on the air, we have to have our heart for the temple.
不管咱这边 Zoom 内面开班，咱嘛是爱甲开班的时阵，当作咱是伫咧不同内底。
Even if we are just conducting lectures through Zoom, we have to think that and place ourselves as if we are in our physical temple.
那么今仔日有法歹势，甲咱各位道亲加耽误5分钟希望这个不离佛堂这部分呢，有法讲了若无好势所在呢，请 神父主笔，请9点人士甲点人士主笔，那么请各位道亲原谅，祝福各位道亲有一个美满的暗暝，祝各位道亲的身体健康，万事如意，法喜充满，晚安。
So since we are already past 9 now. We will take this up to this part. One cannot leave the temple during cultivation, and for the next topics we will continue in our next lectures. So we are thankful for the compassion of our Zhou Tianchuansi and Tian Tianchuansi, and also for everyone. And we wish everyone to have a safe and happy night.